Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's finally that time to start bodywork in the front clip. We've got the Loadstars back on wheels and running and driving, and I got some loose ends to take care of, but we're close enough that it's time for all this instead. So first order of business is, these hood panels off the Loadstar need literally nothing. They are ready just to, take some 400 to them and sand them up and ready for primer and paint. But other than I do have to pull off, I think the support rod on that side I got to unbolt, but regardless, they're there. As you can see though, I am missing the scripted International emblem on this side. This driver's side panel, I've got them both. That 1700 is pretty pitted, but it'll do. The International actually is in pretty good shape. Now I have from a junkyard trip, or maybe they came off a fleet star, to be honest with you, I don't really remember, but I have two more International scripted. This one's got a little bend, you can see at that end. It's been torqued a little bit, but otherwise it's got all the studs. This one has a little more bend to it. See if you can see that. And also has all the studs. So the chrome is about in, actually the one that's not as bent might be better shaped chrome. So regardless, this one's going to be extra. It'll go up in the barn somewhere. Those I don't need. Do have some more of these small little body nuts that will probably come in handy. And apparently I got an extra Loadstar symbol that is in really rough shape. We're not gonna, there's no way you're polishing that out. That's gotta be re-chromed, but we don't need it. So, what I'm gonna do, what I think is gonna be easier is actually to, maybe get that nut off there, but we're gonna reinstall this. And then I'm gonna take the polishing wheel to these while they're on the body panels. Then I don't have to try to hold it or run the risk of it catching, and ripping and breaking these because they're pretty thin and brittle. So anyway, we're gonna start with that. Then we're going to start the body work. Now this fender, I had welded in a patch panel. You can see underneath, I removed the support bracket, but what happened on these butterfly hood Loadstars is there's a support bracket that goes right there. That's kind of the structure of the front of the fender, and it sits right underneath the sheet metal. I think it's still on this side. So yeah, so you can see that in turn bolts over to the core support, and then just add some support for the fenders. But you can see what happens, it sits right there, and moisture obviously gets up in between, up in there, and this is what you end up with. So, on my Loadstar, I don't know if you remember, or if I ever even showed it in one of the original videos, probably not. The passenger side had a big hole in it all through here. The driver's side was cottage cheese, literally almost all the way back. I mean, it was paper thin. So it wasn't cottage cheese, guys. It was Swiss cheese. At any rate, though, so I've still got to do my patch here, get that support bracket off, and cut this out, patch it in. This is just a dent. We'll knock that out as much as we can and body work it. This fender is one that needs some work. It's obviously, it's just sanding work there. Just had a scuff. Really no dents there either. A little tiny bit of welding there to clean that up and pound that relatively straight. A little bit of mud. And then, unfortunately, this is the best one I could find, but we've got a fair amount of work to do here around this headlight bezel. It's gone all the way up into there, down into the mounting surface. I think actually I did that trying to get a bolt out. Little dent there. So, if you look, if we're looking down, this has a big bow to it. And if we compare it to the other fender, it's straight. So we gotta use this as our guide and get that other side back to this. This one just looks like it had a scuff mark right there. No damage, maybe a little tiny bow right there at the very bottom, but otherwise this driver's side is in very, very nice shape. So we're ready for mud basically on this one. We're gonna scuff that up first, but anyway, I'm gonna get started on polishing these cymbals, and then we'll start hammering on that nasty Fender, so hang tight. Okay, well, that worked out pretty good. Let's see when we look close. Obviously, there's no polishing in the world that's gonna take care of that pitting. But, you know, I think you can see the shine there. So, now you get close, you're gonna see it. At some point, someday, it's not that much chrome. We'll get these re-chromed, but for now, we gotta get this thing on the road and get this body work done. So, you know, that's an easy thing to pull off one day, and you know, pull off the emblems and any other chrome bits. You know, maybe door handles and stuff like that I'd like to have redone, and you know, do them one winter or whatever else. But there's not much chrome on this truck, to be honest with you. So, you know, this is what we used. Just my Zephyr polishing kit. I did the mid cut first, and I just used just some metal polish stuff I've got laying around. I don't know, actually works pretty good. Polish cream, I don't know, whatever. I've had that for years. That side came out about the same. See that nice shine we got going on there? This is International Harvester emblem on the center section. Is probably what came out the worst because it was the most pitted, but still has a nice shine to it. And then we'll get some paint on this now, the red and black detail, get that painted up. So all right, time to start pounding on some steel. Okay, well, done the bump out work, and it didn't come out half bad. There's some, obviously there's, you know, up to mud, but the overall shape, I'm still fighting to get this straight. Oh, so if I show you, you can see there's a little bit of a bow in. There's that one straight. If anything, it's got a bow. So I might still mess with that a little more, but most of the rest of it, we got it close enough. I missed that one. But most of the rest we got ready for mud, and I'm not too far out anywhere. The back of this one was all creased too, so we got that all straight. These creases, as you can see, they match on both sides. Those are supposed to be there, so ignore those. This line, I fought and fought and fought to get right. That's where it's really got crinkled, but we're pretty close now, as you can see, looking down between those two. So got the brackets off on the second one, found my first bracket, so those can get sanded up and rust proofed and whatnot. So next order of business before mud is we've got to weld in a patch panel here, and then we have to weld in a patch for this, I think it was an antenna. We've got that little weld to do up there where there's a crack, and it looks like, I don't know if it was license plate or what, but I got two holes down here to weld up. So that'll be the next step. I'm gonna mow the grass now, but anyway, do a little welding. Oh, and then I see my sweet polishing rig I set up here, and we polished up all of our trim rings for the headlights. Those turned out great, and polished my turn signals. That's the good one. That one came out pretty good. This one's got, as you can see, a little more pitting, but regardless, got that done, so we're making progress. Okay guys, so just gonna close this video out. It's actually 2 or 3 days later since I did that work this weekend. And I just ran out of time to get anything else done in the Loadstar. It was my middle daughter's birthday, so we had a birthday party for her on Sunday with some family over, and I smoked some salmon and some ribs, and I had yard work to take care of, and, you know, life. So that's as far as I got, was what you just watched, all that footage of actually was hoping to do a little bit more on Sunday, but I discovered that even though the last time I bought cutoff wheels, I bought a lot of them, like 15 or 20, all my little miscellaneous projects, and especially that trailer hitch project on my fifth wheel ate up a ton of cutoff wheels, so I didn't have any. I was hoping to at least maybe do the welding work, but so I went to the parts store on Monday and got some bulbs, all new fresh bulbs for the turn signals, and a whole bunch of cutoff wheels, and anyway, some miscellaneous items I needed. I think I didn't have any. I was out of spreaders for body filler and whatnot, so I think we've got everything we need, and I'm hoping this weekend that I can get a whole lot of welding and body filler and sanding done. May not get it complete, but I think we'll get it pretty darn close. So moving in towards having a day here coming up where I can do some paint. So I almost forgot as I was wrapping that up that I did take the Loadstar for a drive again this past weekend, and as suggested by a couple people in the comments, I have decided that I pretty much hate double clutching, and so I'm really trying to focus my efforts just on float shifting, which obviously I've float shifted before. It's not new, but it's one of those things where I'm getting more used to it at the same time that I'm getting used to a truck that I'm not used to driving, that obviously is not as user-friendly as a modern vehicle, even a modern manual transmission vehicle. So, but irregardless, I took it out again and getting better. It's obviously a little more difficult without a tack or a speedometer, but I'm learning to make it work, doing it by ear basically. So I mean, there's a lot of vehicles I've been driving for a long time that are manual transmission vehicles that I know a lot better, and so I tried some more float, which both of these that I'm talking about in particular are vehicles I know really well. So one being my delivery truck at work, which is a 03 GMC C8500. It's a 3126 Cat with a Fuller 6-speed, 33,000 GVW air brake truck. So just a small single axle. Been driving that since we bought it brand new in 2003. And the other one is the Cummins truck that you guys may have seen me do a little video about. That's the 95 Chevy 3500 HD with a 5.9 Cummins and also a Fuller 6-speed. So I actually drove the Cummins truck, took my wife to get some hay on Sunday, and had a chance to drive that, as well as, which I rarely do. I haven't driven the 8500 in months, but anyway, had the way things worked out, drove it home from a job site yesterday, and so I float shifted both of those and made a concerted effort to do it. And when I know the truck and I know the shift points and I know the idiosyncrasies of that vehicle, the float shifting up or down is far easier, and just kind of everything fell into place and made sense, to rev match and all that. But again, I'm familiar, crazy familiar with both of those trucks. I've got tens of thousands of miles in each one, so anyway, it gives me pretty good confidence that as I'm seeing improvements in the Loadstar, I'll get there eventually, but just got to know that truck, and that takes seat time and miles. So anyway, that's about that. I will keep you guys updated as we get into some more body work, hopefully this weekend on the Loadstar. And thanks for watching, and appreciate you following along.